Hi everybody, Derek Pollacchi here, back for another Coach's Clipboard, number 8. And after a little time off, we're joined again by Sul Ross head football coach John Pearce. Coach, welcome back.
I'm glad to be back. Thought you forgot about me.
No, we did not forget about you, but there are some other great coaches that we got to talk to.
Yep.
We're coming off the Hardin-Simmons game, 48-27 the loss. That's the number 11 team in D3. You had leads, 3-0, 10-7, 13-7, down 14-13 at the half. What was the message to the guys after a good first half?
As you know, we started off the season 0-5, and we're struggling. The second half of the Southwestern game, I know on defense we went back to basics. We held them to 13 points there in the second half. We preached all week, we're going back to basics, fundamentals. We got some issues talent-wise. This is NCAA football. You can't make a trade, you can't make a swap with another opponent or anything like that. You just got to recruit and have guys grow and build up the program. And so my message to the team leading into the Hardin-Simmons week was effort. That's something we can control. Play with effort, play with excitement, and let's see what happens. And that's what we did. We came out, we're fired up. We moved the ball on them. We kicked the field goal, took the lead. Defense had a couple big hits, got everything going. They had a miscue on a punt, gave us a first down, and we scored off of that as well, I believe. And it was fun on the sideline. It was fun. The guys, I think, really made a step forward, and they made the turn.
Offensively, 27 points, 422 yards.
Yep.
No turnovers.
Nope.
And you actually had more first downs than they did.
Right.
How would you grade the offense on the day?
Oh, I mean, they took a step up. We stayed with one quarterback the whole time. Fabian finished the game out. He still made a few mistakes and a few misreads, but and Will Greer's running his butt off. I mean, the kid's doing a great job for us. I'm so thankful he's got another year, and he played his butt off. The O-line stepped it up because they're talented up front, and they battled. They definitely battled. Yeah, we gave up a few sacks, but their checkers on the D-line were a little bit better than our O-line, but I love the effort. And like you said, the yardage was there, and we were productive, and it definitely helped on our defensive side, getting our guys a break on the sideline.
And by Asa, 27 for 47, 205 yards, couple touchdowns, no picks. But how important was it for you to see a quarterback play the whole game?
I mean, it was good. I think it's just confidence for him, confidence with the offense in general, and just the team overall.
Defense, 48 points, though.
Yep.
One touchdown was on a kick at the end, so you can do the math on that.
Right.
432 yards given up. What was Hardin-Simmons able to do so effectively that you weren't able to overcome?
Well, they got a kid there, Reese Childress, number 5. And, I went up to see him after the game, and I said, "You are graduating, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Thank goodness, you had a heck of a career here, and heck of a career against us." A couple years ago, he ran a punt back. I think last year he ran a punt back. And that's what they got us on their reverse counter. We just didn't fit into it well, and they hit that play twice. Once with him for a touchdown, and then number 22, who's an underclassman, who's going to be a headache down the road, but that kid has some wheels. So they hit that play. They got 14 points on it. Got the lead really. So, but they're a big power team, and we took that away. They, even number 2, their backup running back. They took him out of the game. They put the third string guy in 14, and he's pretty talented, and he lined up at Wildcat quarterback, and, he diced us up a little bit. But, I love the effort and our DBs grew up. They could really throw the ball. They got some talented receivers, and the passing game by Hardin-Simmons didn't really hurt us. It was a couple of those reverses. So,
I mean, this was the number 11 team in the country. The only team they lost to was Mary Hardin-Baylor, which is the norm in the ASC, just about,
two losses in like 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. They're beating everybody 55 to nothing, or it seems like it.
Right.
But number 11 team, you go into their house, there's a time change at the end, things get thrown off, and you're down by 1 at the half. You had, 3 different, not sizable, but 3 different leads, 3-0, 10-7, and 13-7.
Right.
So, you had to be feeling good going into the second half. You've had time to digest the whole game. What was your overall takeaway?
We're heading in the right direction. I think our players the young guys realize they can play in this league now. They stepped up. I'm just excited, talking to some people yesterday, the first 5 games, right now it's a 5-game season left. And let's see how we finish up the second half, And I think if we play with the energy, the excitement, the effort, these next 4 games, we're going to win more than lose. That's what I really think, as long as we don't shoot ourselves in the foot. If we come ready to play, we can win a lot of these other 4.
Now, obviously, you never like to lose, but there is such a thing as a constructive loss.
Right.
And this is the closest you can get to it?
I guess so. There's no moral victories.
Right.
But, it's a loss, definitely. They scored 48 points. 10 years from now, you look at the stats, it's still not good. Yeah. But I think, like I said, we made the turn. It was almost like we made the turn when I first got here. There was a couple games. We played tough. We played tough with Mary Hardin Baylor for our first half. And I think our guys started to realize, hey, what it takes to play college football, especially when you play a lot of freshmen. These guys they hit the wall. They're used to athletics third period and getting home at dinner time. They're not used to getting up at 5:30 to go lift weights, meetings at 6:45, class all day, practice, learning lab, and then they don't have mom and dad waking them up or pushing them in the right direction. We're trying to do that. And so I think, they hit the wall a little bit, but I think they also got a taste of success. I know going into halftime, a lot of guys, young guys, saying, we can win this thing. We can win this thing. They were excited about it. So hopefully it'll carry over. That the mood, even after the game, was a lot better. There was no finger pointing. So, when you're young and immature, the finger pointing is easy. And I think we kind of got away from that and just realized this is our crew and we're going to move forward.
So even in the loss, we've talked a lot of positives today.
Yep.
So what stuff or what needed to be different about that game to go out there? You get guys at half. We can win this thing. Right. And you were right there, down 1 at the half. What needed to change in the second half that you can tell your guys needed to change to go out there and make that a win?
We just can't give up a big play. Those reverses that that definitely hurt us. I don't know if we started the third quarter with the same intensity. After we got scored on twice and we picked it back up. We just got to play even keel for 4 quarters, and that's hard to do when you got a young team. And
again, we've talked a lot about morale. It was good.
Yep. Yeah, the morale was really good. Unfortunately, during that 6-game losing streak, but the first 5 games when we didn't play well and everybody was pointing fingers, we did lose some kids. They packed it in, and they just can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, unfortunately. But if they would have stuck through, I think, this core that we got now is the direction I want the Lobo football to keep going.
Howard Payne this week.
They're homecoming.
Homecoming.
Yep.
They're 1-5.
Yep.
You beat them last year, 52-15. Each time we talk, you talk about how teams change year to year. Is that the case with Howard Payne as well?
I mean, I didn't really I looked at their depth chart, didn't pay attention to what classification they are. I know on defense, they're running around. They got a lot of tackles for losses, but they also give up some big plays. Offensively, I think the weakest point on there is their offensive line. They're big guys. They don't move their feet. I think the running back's talented. We saw some better running backs in the conference. I think they got some receivers that can make some plays. Number one, they're little slot receivers, kind of like Byron Jones. He can run. He had some big touchdowns. They're better at quarterback. He's not a running threat, but he can throw the ball. So, it's going to be a challenge with us every game, But one thing I noticed, it's almost 20 years of coaching in Texas. You got to win homecoming. Yeah. So this game is important for us no matter what. Doesn't matter what the record is. I learned that when I was at other universities. Homecoming's a big thing in this state. And then what I always like to do is win the last game. So we're fortunate. The 2 teams we're playing for, the team we're playing for homecoming and the team we're playing our last home game in Alpine, I think we match up checker-wise. So, hopefully we come out ready to play and, things can go our way.
Now, when we played Southwestern a couple weeks ago at home, they were in, a triple option?
Yeah, but they got away from it, They're a triple option team. We worked on triple option and they started throwing the ball. Because I guess he knew that we were young in the secondary. So, and that's kind of where they took advantage of us. And the next thing we were way behind, and they were still throwing the ball. They were up 48 to 7 at the time, and he was still throwing the ball, which in a team that runs triple is kind of, it is what it is. That's fine. You still got to stop it, and we didn't do a good job with it.
So who is Howard Payne comparable to, would you say? It's not a Southwestern. I don't think they run a triple option.
No, they're pro set. They're similar to us. Really, they're similar to us, what we do offensively and even defensively. So, And they're young, so they're looking for their first win. We've been fortunate with them in the program, but we were fortunate with Murray, and we beat them since I've been here. Then three years in a row, and we lost that one. So, like I said, everybody in this conference is very talented. You got to come ready to play, or if not, you're gonna come up on the L side.
What assurances did your team give you last week that tells you they're ready to go out there and get their first win?
The excitement. Just the excitement. They're ready to play. You look. It was Hardin-Simmons homecoming. They had about 200 people on the sideline. We had our 62 guys we traveled with, and we fought. We fought a good team, and I know the scoreboard really doesn't reflect it, but I'm sure Hardin-Simmons had a lot of people in the cold tubs on Monday. So we were physical with them, and that's all I ask for. Give us effort. Play your butts off. Run to the ball. Finish blocks, and then the wins will take care of itself.
You alluded to it. You coach in Texas. You got to win homecoming.
Yep.
Homecoming is a big deal. How important would it be? And I think you've already kind of surmised that, but a little more. How important would it be to go out and get the homecoming win?
We need a win.
Yeah.
When you're 0-6, we need a win. When you get a win, our cafeteria food tastes a lot better. Right now, everything's kind of stale and flat, but that's how it goes. We just need to get a win for this program.
It's going to be a little colder.
It's football weather,
normal.
man.
It's football weather. I know. I'm from the Northeast.
Yep.
I know it well. And you've been all over Delaware and Florida. So you've
hot and cold.
Hot and cold, exactly. You've seen all the weather patterns. Well, what does it mean to play in a colder climate? Because, I
think our guys like it.
It changes.
Yeah, it's changed. Our guys love it. They love the change. They may whine a little bit about the weather during practice, but I think they just like the change. And that's the way it was in Abilene last week. It was cool. It was rainy, and that was kind of our first really cool weather game. And I think that helped with the spirit of it.
As long as the wind is down, right?
Yeah, well.
You never really like wind in football,
it's West
right?
Texas. We always got wind.
I remember I was covering a soccer game, and I was shooting some video for Travis, and I was behind the away goal, and the goalie looks back at me during a timeout and goes, "Does the wind always do this here?" And I'm thinking, you mean blow, or just like 10 miles an hour and then gone for 5 minutes and then back up? I didn't know exactly what I was like, it just fluctuates.
It's West Texas,
and that's what happens.
Yep.
But it's never good for your kicker, though.
No. And we had struggles. Like, the Mary Hardin-Baylor game, we had the wind in our face, and we couldn't punt the ball more than 15 yards.
I think he averaged 41 and a half this last game, though.
Did a good job. They did have a big return. They didn't score or anything, but they had a penalty called back. But we kept that in check. Like I said, Reese has done a great job as a punt returner in this league, and the kid's special, and I'm glad I don't have to face him again. And I'm glad he didn't have a punt return on me this year like he's had in the past. So
we talked about Baeza. Let's talk about a few other guys. I remember before we did this, and we were all talking, you and Travis and Glenn and whatnot. You talked about Fentress Milligan. You were highlighting some specific players. Go ahead and do that for us.
Yeah, Fentress, that kid is playing all conference level. I hope he finished the year out. And I know it's not the senior year he wanted, just like Byron Jones and some other guys, and Jaquez Wisner, but he hasn't turned his motor off. He is playing high level. We flipped him because they started running away from him. He's running guys down backside. He had a sack fumble. We recovered right before half. That's what you got. Sometimes the wins are not there, but when you got guys like that just fighting through it, trying to make the program better, try to be the leader, he's doing it the right way. And, we're not having the wins that he wanted his senior year, but the payoff for his life, he's going to be a better dad, a better husband, everything. He's going to be successful in whatever career he goes into after college by having that attitude.
And that helps the younger guys.
Right.
They can look up to somebody who, even though you're losers of 6 and you're 0-6, somebody's motor is still running, and that can be an impact greater than anything we can imagine with the younger guys, right?
Right. I hope so. I hope them guys are watching them and learning from them, because none of our guys are going to play on Sunday. After 4 weeks, the seniors will play their last game unless they go to a D3 All-Star game. But, they're pretty much going to hang up their cleats. So he's got right now, 16 quarters left, I guess, and he just needs to keep playing hard and see what happens. And I hope the rest of the league noticed what he's doing, and with the record we have, and they recognize him as all conference player, because we got some good D linemen in this league. But I hope they think he's worthy of it. I know he's got my vote, and I'm going to nominate him. But I'll see what the rest of the league does.
Who else has showed you some good stuff lately?
The secondary has stepped up. Receivers starting to catch the football. That's great. Jeremy Sheila, he's another senior, done a good job at tight end, has some big catches, and we had him at Wildcat, and he's always been our goal line Wildcat quarterback. We talked about Will Greer running the ball hard. We had a couple of Norm Davis, freshman, got the ball and ran. I think he broke off about an 8-yard run, but that's huge for us, because you can see the future there. The old linemen, the young guys are battling their tails off. Corey Mack in the secondary had a big hit, we're just starting to figure it out. Unfortunately in football, you get 10 games. Sometimes in other sports you get 20 games and you may struggle for 10 games and figure it out. Our season's short. It's one game a week, and it's tough. So, but if we had like an NFL season, 16 games or something like that, we may have a few more wins at the back end. But right now we got 4 games to play, and let's see what we can do.
You treat it like a mini season.
Yep.
Forget the past.
Yep.
Take the good stuff, and here's your 4 games. Especially for the younger guys, all right, go out and prove yourself and get ready for next year.
Yep. I told them, you guys are playing for a spot.
Yeah.
You got to show me. That was my challenge to Hardin Simmons. This is a nationally ranked team. Show me you can play on the same field. If you can't, then we're going to replace you in recruiting. And I think a lot of guys stepped up, which was very encouraging.
So Ross head football coach John Pearce. Coach, good to have you back.
Thank
and thanks
you
again, buddy.
All righty.